We're going to take a quick, fast, early look at the waiver wire as we head into week 12. This is early on Sunday, so this is like a waiver wire preview. More news will come out. More guys will come up injured throughout the week like it always does. So we'll have more waiver wire content every single day this week to keep you updated. Before we dig in, though, you need to click that subscribe button right now. We're going deeper than anybody else when it comes to looking at the waiver wire. We're the fastest at it, we're the deepest at it, and we're analyzing other people covering it as well. That way you know what the market is when it comes to your league, picking up players off the waiver wire. On top of that, we're helping you set your lineups, and we're deep diving all the trending players. Click that subscribe button. Stop missing out. The first waiver wire player we're looking at today is a guy we told you to pick up, and we did a deep dive on earlier this week, and that's Sean Tucker. He went off today against the Buffalo Bills. We told you to pick him up. We told you to look at him. But I was half right because I should have been louder. I should have been more aggressive. That's on me. I was on him, but I should have been on him. But Sean Tucker, like we said, at one time was one of the top running backs in college football. Great up the gut, good vision, explosive in space. I'm not surprised. And the Bucs is going to be in these game scripts that are going to be dog fights like this that are high scoring. So whenever he's out there, with Bucky not being out there, or maybe going forward to start off as a ramp up Bucky, maybe they do that as we get more news. But Sean Tucker's the guy to look at really hard now. Really hard now. Your mom and pop leagues did not pick him up. Most of the leagues that watch this channel, especially throughout the week, he's picked up. A lot of people had him in start-sit decisions. He shouldn't be really out there on the waiver wire. He should have been picked up as a dart throw. He was a big dart throw going into this game because they were mixing up the touches. He went off. He's been looking good. Over 5 yards per carry in the last 2 games. He has led the team in rushing in the last 3 games. So that's something to pay attention to. So he'll probably keep doing that until Bucky's back. Until Bucky's back healthy and back to being Bucky. We are also watching Bucky going forward as well. Bucky is going to be the big catalyst to how we structure this backfield for our fantasy teams. Rachaad White has been very inefficient running the football. He has been for the last few years now, and it's really coming to a head. Sean Tucker fell out of the draft due to a heart condition and had stayed and kicked around on this roster this whole time. Last year, he had a blow-up week just like this. Now he did it in this matchup that blew up. You got other game scripts, and all game scripts with the Bucs go off like this that has good back and forth, except for that Saints game because Spencer Rattler jacked it up. Sean Tucker, a lot of upside. You're watching the Jaguars running backs like a hawk this week. Basil Tuten was running hot, as we all know, and then he gets injured. So LeQuin Allen's also a very good running back. You're watching these backs like a hawk. Maybe by the time you watch this video, you get more news on Basil Tuten. Maybe not. But you're watching these running backs like a hawk because Travis Etienne has not been firing like he did at the start of the season. Basil Tuten was hot. Looks like they were going to roll the hot hand a little bit more, at least mix it in a little bit more. LeQuin Allen's also a very good running back prospect. This is why they were able to trade Tank Bigsby, because they hit in the draft this year at running back with 2 cheap picks, a 4th rounder and a late rounder. And at Syracuse, you saw LeQuin Allen do it all, run it up the gut, catch balls out of the backfield. If something happens to Etienne and Basil Tuten's out, he could handle the load. He could be good for you in fantasy. You need to monitor this backfield. You might catch news while I'm just talking right now, even after I post this. Manny Wilson time. Like I told you, cuff your studs. This is the time where you definitely need your studs cuffed. Josh Jacobs, one of the lower-end studs, but he gets a lot of work and he's very consistent. We're monitoring Josh Jacobs. Manny Wilson is going to command a lot of fab. He is a fab buster. There are not many running backs that are projected to get this many touches off the waiver wire every single week. He is a fab buster. I hope you had him stashed. He's a stash back. And honestly, if you had Josh Jacobs in a spot and you didn't make it happen, shame on you. We're in double-digit weeks. We're about to approach the fantasy playoffs. And if he's out for a bit, Manny Wilson's at least going to be good enough to get enough touches to hit the fairway. 10-plus PPR fantasy points in most games. Most of them. Even if he's inefficient in those matchups, even if he's not looking as good as Josh Jacobs, he's going to get enough workload where he is going to be a high probability of getting to that 10-plus range. And if he scores once, twice, catches a couple balls, you're going to get a good one out of him. You got some matchups here throughout the season that are up and down. This is all predicated on Josh Jacobs, but still, now you know what it feels like. So if you got Bijan, so if you got Christian McCaffrey, you got any of those other studs, you got a spot, you're wondering what to do, you better get your insurance policy in place. Christian Watson, I've been saying this for almost a month now, if not prior to that even, because he was an IR stash. But this is what you're going to get. You're going to get like a 12, a 7, 6, 20, then another 7, 6, 25, 7, 6, 35. That's the Christian Watson effect, and he really fires around Thanksgiving time. He's got a history of doing that. He's a deep ball dandy. You got the carousel effect here with the Green Bay Packers, where on any given Sunday, any wide receiver can get it, and they don't have to be the target leader. And then on top of that, you know which guy is the target share man in this core, and it's been Romeo Doubs. But still, you're looking at Christian Watson here in some of these matchups where they're going his way, deep shots to the end zone. All he has to do is bring in one, he can go off. He needs rostered in all leagues, should be rostered in most leagues. Calling him out here. Also, he's usually in start-sit decisions when I'm answering those questions for the flex, which means there could be potential that he needs picked up. Ollie Gordon, another running back that just needs stashed. Another running back that's a cuff. If I got HN, I got Ollie Gordon. Ollie Gordon could also accidentally get you across the goal line in some of these matchups. We're also coming back after the bye. So we're watching that. If HN gets banged up and it's late into the season, you're in your championship game, they might just sit him. More than likely. They're more likely to do it. Not saying more likely will, but the odds are increased with all the studs, all of them. Because every time around the fantasy playoffs or the week after, those final weeks, if someone's just banged up a little bit, if the team's out of it, or if they're in a good spot in the playoff picture, they're not going to risk their player. They're not going to do that. You catch weird stuff happening those last few weeks. Get your stashes, get your cuffs in order. Ollie Gordon scoring a touchdown here. Second time on the season, breaking double digits. Chris Rodriguez. Only 9 fantasy points, but 15 carries. That is something you want out of your running backs. That's something that you want to look at. I wouldn't chase it. I'm not chasing the Washington running backs. You got Denver coming up after a bye week, so there's 2 weeks that you're not starting them, especially next week. But that Broncos game, it's going to be hard to start them unless you really need it. Then you got Minnesota on the road, then maybe the Giants game, but it could be changed up with this backfield by then. Kirk Cousins. It was awful last time against Dolphins. It was awful last time. So we could get some more of the same. Monitor Michael Penix. Monitor what's going on. Michael Penix Jr. had a chance to return, but didn't. That's what it says there. Monitor the situation. You might be picking up Kirk Cousins if you need it. That's something you need to watch. Also, Darnell Mooney. Drake London went out. We're watching his injury status. Darnell Mooney busted last time in this scenario. He caught one ball for 11 yards. Everybody was in on it. Everybody was over the moon. I was tepid because it was Kirk Cousins at quarterback. Kirk Cousins thrust it out there. Rusty maybe. I didn't know. Same thing with Darnell Mooney. I would not go over the moon, but I'd be looking at him a little bit harder, and maybe you get that opportunity. When you're looking at targets, we're 8 and 7 in the last 2 games, so we are getting that volume. Mason Rudolph. We're watching Aaron Rodgers. He's got a wrist issue. He might champ it up and get back out there. You got the Bears on the road. I wouldn't be looking at Mason Rudolph unless I'm in a deeper Superflex league or a deeper league in general, traditional 12-man leagues, considering it's the Steelers. I would highly question those decisions. On the road against the Bears, that's a matchup to look at. Also want to see how the targets get distributed with Mason Rudolph here, with what he's got right now with the Steelers. Xavier Legette here. 8 targets in this matchup. Rotoballer left him for dead this week. The thing is, I say this the same thing every single time when I get to talk about Xavier Legette. He is a dart throw, gamble play in your flex spot. Look at the scoring here. 11, 3, 24, 3, 3, 0, 18. That's the type of player you got. Kind of like a Christian Watson, kind of like a Jameis Winston, but plays different. Big, physical, wide receiver with 4.3 speed that if he gets it on a crosser, they running some mesh, he's got a little bit of green. He's going to house it or get a big chunk of yards there, and he's tough to bring down. And that fits well with T-Mac because T-Mac's stretching it. You got to keep them safeties back. You got to have someone over top just in case the deep target comes. And now you got him on a back or you got him on a safety. You got him on a nickel. And some of those plays, he's going to get the targets. Some of those matchups, it goes that way. Xavier Legette is a gamble for the flex, but you may not want it because what you're seeing here in the scoring is what you're going to get for the rest of the season. A.J. Barner, 8 targets, might end up with more. Game's still going on, but if you're looking for a tight end to pick up, the volume's there with them. He's also a touchdown dandy who's due to score a touchdown. Might get one today, but he's still getting work here in the passing game. In these matchups, especially where they got to throw it a lot. You also got Tennessee coming up in the road. That should be an interesting matchup. Michael Wilson might end up with double-digit targets in this game. We got 8. He was a prime pickup earlier this week. I did a battle video with him versus Dortch. That was like your need video for him. That was the deep dive. I should have did another one maybe, so maybe people caught on to that. But he was a prime pickup. He was trending on Sleeper. That's why he's later in the video. You should look at him in-depthly, especially now. Now we know Marvin Harrison Jr. is going to be out, and now you got a game with the sample. And the sample last 3 games, 4, 7, 8, right now in targets. Jaleel McLaughlin, only in deeper leagues. But we're calling this out. Things might change going in here, but halfway, start of the third quarter-ish, over halfway into the game, carries 3-3 between him and Harvey. That being said, if you're looking for volume or if you're looking for anything out of the running back position, volume as in carries and targets, like anything, he could splash for you. RJ Harvey's already rostered. He's started in a lot of leagues right now. McLaughlin's got to pay attention to. This was a worry going into this week, them splitting the backfield. That's something Sean Payton likes to do. McLaughlin has hit during the early portion of his career here with the Broncos, something to pay attention to monitor. Really, if you're stressed at running back, oh yeah, Shedeur Sanders in right now. Things looking shaky right now. But remember, that first completion he had, that was his first play with the ones, including practice, rookie camp, minicamp, OTAs, training camp. Before this game, that was his first rep with the ones. And sounds like Dylan Gabriel is probably going to be out next week. He's concussed. That guy really went head first into a defender, took on that concussion, and looks like Shedeur Sanders is probably going to be starting against the Raiders on the road unless they go with Zappy. If that happens, Shedeur will get his first week under his belt with the ones getting primed up. No pun intended with the word prime. But Shedeur Sanders is going to push the rock a little bit more. He's going to be more aggressive. With that being more aggressive, it should open up for more opportunities for these wide receivers. That being said, Cedric, Tillman getting it deep downfield could be a good dart throw for you. I'm not going to say he's going to be great for the NFL. I'm not going to say that. But I'm also going to say things are going to get a little bit more aggressive. Things might be a little volatile, but things are going to be a little bit more aggressive where you can get that hope and prayer now out of this team and some of these gamble dart throw matchups where you got one a little bit softer here on the road against the Raiders. Brian Robinson getting work, getting snaps. That's one thing I'm seeing out of this matchup here right now. He's out there on the field in some prime situations. If McCaffrey goes down, knock on wood, because we still got some game to play. Brian Robinson, next man up. He's going to be getting touches. He's going to be getting opportunities. He's getting that work right now in this game. He's out there in some prime key moments in this matchup. Those are the guys we're looking to get off the waiver wire. As of right now, we're going to catch some changes. We catch a lot of changes throughout the week. This has been a season where we've seen injuries crop up middle of the week, even after the waiver wire has ran. That's why we're going to continue to drop videos on the daily, so you keep up with that information. Let me know what you think in the comments below. There's probably somebody that's getting banged up right now that I got to do another video on. That's how that rolls. I want to thank you for watching, though. Make sure you hit that subscribe button on the way out. I'll catch you on the next video.